So have you ever wondered why there's four different gospels in our Bible? I mean, why did there need to be four separate perspectives and stories on the life and ministry of Jesus? Well, actually, each of the four gospels was written by a different person for a different purpose towards a different audience. So, for example, Matthew was written by the Apostle Matthew, who was the tax collector, and his is written toward a Jewish audience. And that's why in the Gospel of Matthew, you'll see more of the Old Testament prophecies that Jesus fulfilled and things like that, proving that Jesus is the true Messiah that the Jews had been waiting for. In the Gospel of Mark, Mark was actually Peter's disciple, so it's really the gospel according to Peter. And his gospel was written to the Romans. And since Romans were all about action and getting things done, it's the shortest gospel. It gets to the point, and it's all about action in that one. So you see more of like the miracles Jesus performed and the healings and the works and things like that. And then the Gospel of Luke was written by Luke, who was actually a disciple or a companion of Paul. And so what he did is he kind of went around and talked to all of Jesus's apostles and family members and things like that, gathered all the information he could, and then he wrote his gospel directed toward the Greeks. And since the Greeks really were all about wisdom and philosophy and really elevated those things in their culture, you see more of that in his gospel, where you see more of like the parables and teachings of Jesus than you see in the other gospels. And then in the Gospel of John, who was written by the Apostle John, who was the disciple that Jesus loved. You know, he was the only one out of all the apostles that actually didn't desert Jesus in the end and was standing there at the foot of the cross when Jesus was crucified. And Jesus told him, you know, please take care of my mother and all that. So John wrote his gospel directed to everyone in the world, and his gospel was more geared toward revealing the divinity of Jesus Christ and showing how he is God. And so you see all those I am statements in his gospel, and in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And so that's kind of why we have four different gospels, four different perspectives. They're all written toward a different audience and for a different purpose. And so when you take them all collectively, you get the whole ministry and life of Jesus Christ and who he is.